Hi guys. So because we couldn't have a banquet this year, we still wanted to do something that kind of honored our seniors, especially our seniors this year, who really kind of got gypped, I would say, from their senior year at CheerFactor. So Erika and Amanda and I decided that we would say a few words about each senior in a pre-recorded video and then post it after the banquet. So here it is. Enjoy, and hopefully we'll see you guys soon. All right.
Hey everybody, I just wanted to take this time to say a few things about one of our seniors. Her name is Kaylee Harris, and I've actually had the pleasure of having Kaylee as a coach in training, or a CIT, on 3 of my teams for 3 consecutive seasons. And what I learned about Kaylee is she is an incredible role model. And my own daughter Reagan happened to be on the teams that she coached, and she worked tirelessly with both Amanda and mine, our daughters. And she kind of followed them along. Like, she started with them on our first year of Superstition when we were on in the Taunton gym. We were a medium youth 1. And then when we moved to the Foxborough gym, we were a medium youth 1 again. And then last year we were a small youth 2. So she got to see these kids progress, help them grow, answer their questions, and just be there with Francis and I to kind of be like a second in command and help these kids reach their potential, in essence. She was alongside us in Dallas, and she got to stand in front of the stage just like we did and be a coach. She has such a sweet demeanor and really push the kids just like we would to be their best. And we are so thankful that Kaylee got to be a part of our coaching tribe, and we wish her the best of luck in the future.
All right, so I don't pre-write these. I just kind of go for it and wing it when I'm talking about an athlete that I've had for a long time. I did ask the few athletes that I was responsible for speaking with to send me, I sent them a couple just questions to jog my memory about their first year and what the first teams they were on. And the first athlete I'm going to talk about today is Sierra. So we've had Sierra, I believe, for 10 years or even over. And I do remember when Sierra first started, because we asked her to be on one of, we asked her to be on one of my actual teams. It was Josh and I's team, Destiny, and we needed her to fill in. I think someone had broken their arm and she was in the half-year program, or it was something. Maybe she was tumbling at the gym. I don't fully remember. But we asked her to be on our team, and within 2 months, we begged her to stay. We really wanted her to stay. And I remember Deb telling us that she was really into dance. She was more of a dancer, and that she was just trying to cheer out. And, she wasn't sure if it's what she wanted to do. Yeah, cut to 10 years later. So notes about Sierra. She was one of our, original really strong athletes that we started with from being very young, with the intention to train them to be, on a world's team. We literally had a group of kids that we were like, you guys, we're going to do this. And Sierra was one of them. And if you follow her sequence, and I didn't ask her to give me all of the teams that she's been on, but I'm pretty positive that child kind of did everything, every level, every age group, every position. I don't know if she ever backed, but I do know she flew for a while on some of our fun, awesome senior 2 teams. She became one of a great base. I remember she was on the senior 4 that we had before, Erika Carbonneau and Lauren came over, that we were training to be a restricted 5 or a junior 5. And she was on that team. And one of the things that, and Sierra knows this because I've said it to her 100 times, so I'm just going to say it to everybody that's listening. Sierra was one of those athletes that just always did exactly what she was supposed to do. And I called her the golden retriever of the team, kind of just perfect in every way. She didn't need constant compliments. She didn't need ever to really be, yelled at or criticized. She always just did what she was supposed to. And she's that kind of athlete. And I think she's that kind of person, for the most part, that just really is tried and true, loyal, trustworthy. And I will always remember that about Sierra. And again, I know she struggled with cheering her senior year, and we got her to do it. And it's unfortunate that we got her to do it and she wasn't able to finish it, but she did have some amazing years with us. She had, she's been to Worlds, she's been to Summit, she has been to NCA, she's competed very difficult skills. She has, I asked each one of them to give me like their biggest fail. And I'm not going to talk about what Sierra's was because it's not as funny, but she's had failures too. She's been out on the floor and not done what she's supposed to do. So she's definitely had a huge kind of experience with us at CheerFactor, and we will always remember her. I will, specifically as just being one of those kids that was part of that big group that we had coming up from kind of the beginning. So we love you, Sierra, and I know you're going to be great in whatever you choose to do. And I know that you're not far from here, so we would love visits from you as much as you can, especially once this COVID stuff's over and you guys can come and visit us, anytime you want. But yeah, that's my spiel about my love, Sierra. Mwah.
Hi everybody, I wanted to talk a little bit about Jordan Fernandez. This was his first and only year at CheerFactor. He was a senior in high school, but we actually found him through one of our little friends, Riley Sims, and she raved about his stunting, his tumbling, and I knew that we just had to meet him and get him on X Factor if possible because we were going co-ed this year. He became friends with my daughter Kendall, and we kind of stalked him on Instagram, and then finally one day he came into the gym and tumbled. We chatted, and luckily for us, he wanted to join our team. I found him to be one of the most positive, exciting, enthusiastic cheerleaders that I had met in a very long time. He was always motivating to his kids. He knew he had a lot to learn still because he did come from high school cheerleading. There were a few times he would be throwing his tumbling passes and would fly off of our gray floor, and I would cringe and I would close my eyes and I'd be like, oh Lord, don't do that again. But he would get right back up and do it, and he was very much the perfectionist, and we were lucky to have him on our team. He was willing to learn. He wanted to learn. The kids enjoyed being around him, and I know that he is now going to Texas, hopefully, to cheer at Trinity Valley. Who has won NCAA in Daytona several times, so good luck in that. I got to see him last week in the gym. He stopped by to say hi to our X Factor ladies this year, and he brought that same positive and exciting attitude and enthusiasm, and just motivated our girls that were on the floor, even though he wasn't cheering with them. I know that whatever he chooses to do in his future, he is going to be amazing at, and we wish him the best of luck. Bye.
All right, next up, Allie Carlson. Allie. I could say quite a few things, but they would kind of be like inside jokes between the two of you, you and I'm not going to embarrass you with that, so I'm not going to go there. But if you ever want to go there, you can just call me, and we can chat it up about some of the memories I have of you. But Allie Carlson is a recent graduate of Foxborough High. She has been a cheerleader with CheerFactor since she was a mini Marvel. Like Sierra, she was probably on almost every level, every age group. She was a flyer for quite a while and then switched to being a base. She was a fantastic tumbler. Allie's season unfortunately got cut short at the end of last season, not this past season, the season before. She ended up tearing her ACL and meniscus, so couldn't participate this season, but still participated with helping with minis and just being, there for her team. So Allie, again, like all the seniors, didn't get the grand, exit that we all wish that they got to have. But I have a lot of memories about Allie. One was when she was on youth teams with, I think Amanda was her coach, and I used to have to yell at her all the time because she was a point jumper that she needed to smile more, and she didn't like to smile. And I was like, well, if you're going to be point jumper, you need to smile more, Allie. Get it together. And then another was when she was on Allie's Junior 3. She was one of the flyers. And I remember we were competing literally at 7 a.m. in Providence, and her stunt group was just not doing good. And it was just, they were having a bad morning. Their warm-ups were just kind of like crazy. And I remember going over to Allie's group going, you're going to do your whole stunt at prep. Just do it at prep. And Allie looked at me like, what? And I was like, no, that's what you're going to do. I'd rather have you just do it at prep than fall. And they went out there. They did it at prep. They hit it. They ended up being in first place. And then on the second day, they did it again. And I just like, let's prep again. It's fine. They prepped it again. And it was level 3. So they were supposed to be up top, and they did everything in a prep. And they ended up winning athletic and getting a summit bid. So I was like, let's just stay in prep for the whole year. I think you guys are good. So I do have, memories of Allie like that. And then obviously her last few years, she spent a lot of years on Junior X, and then X Factor. And I did ask Allie, like I asked all of them, some of just some random questions to jog my memory about, the seasons with them. And one of the things was when she's always said, like, she had a standing full, but it was like a standing full that would be there sometimes and not there other times. And she'd go out in one routine and land it, and then she'd go out in the other routine and bust it. And Allie was always so hard on herself that one of the last events of one of the years, it was Junior X. And she said it's a touchy subject, but I'm still going to talk about it because it's funny. And I think everybody will appreciate Allie's aggressive competitiveness. She did bust it on Junior X, and she got off the floor, and I went over to hug her, and she was like, "Don't hug me, you don't like to hug," and which she knows I don't like to hug, but I went over to hug her and say it was okay, they were great, it was the end of the year, end of the season. She's like, "I just want you to yell at me. Will you just yell at me? I'll feel better if you just yell at me." So I just started yelling at her, and then I hugged her. But anyway, so yeah, Allie is moving off to Tennessee, and I hope she comes back and visits us as much as she can, and we will absolutely miss her presence in our gym, her personality, her insanity, her craziness, her competitiveness. We even missed it this year in the gym, but we will definitely miss it moving forward. So again, Allie, we love you, and I wish you the best of luck. I know you're going to be bomb at whatever you do because you're a psycho. So, and I mean that. All right. Mwah.
And now my twins, Kaylee and Haley. I loved these girls from the second they walked in the gym years ago. They came in with their little black sneakers, and they had these little scrappy back handsprings, and all they wanted was their standing tucks. And so they'd come in every Friday, and I would spot them for standing tucks over and over and over again. And you could tell these kids were super talented and just wanted to learn. They just wanted to be better. So the rest of that season, we would see them around. I would see them at some of the local competitions, and always was like, "Oh, look, it's the twins that tumble with us." And that following season is when they joined CheerFactor, and ever since then, we've always had a super close bond. And I have loved my time with both of you girls. I think the first team that I think I've coached you. Yeah, I've coached you at least every season. I think you all crossed to some teams that I didn't coach, but I've been your coach every year since you came. And I think we started on Allure, Junior 3. And we had that wedding theme, which still to this day is one of my favorites. I listen to that music like at least once a month just to relive it. But we started on Allure, and I did a couple years of Junior 3, Junior 4. Of course, Charmed. They were on my Senior 1. I think you each did a spin on Junior X. I think on different seasons, but it was kind of like a tag team. We traded 1 year and 1 year. And then we did Senior 4 and Senior 3 and Senior 2 and X Factor. So I think you guys have probably competed on every single level we have to offer, at the gym. And we're always huge assets to all of those teams. So, girls, I love you both equally, which is why I had to do your video together. But just know you will be missed so much at the gym and by me. You're both super smart, beautiful girls. You are going to do amazing things the rest of you're going off to college the rest of your time. I have no doubt that you both will be amazing. So keep being who you are. Stay in touch. We'll always be here, and we'll miss you. Bye, guys.
Okay, now I'm going to get into Bianca. And again, I'm not writing these speeches. I'm just like hitting play and then just going to town because that's what I would do at the banquet anyway. So let's just be organic as possible. So Bianca, again, another long time, 10-year athlete at CheerFactor, started on a half-year team. I remember she came in with a lot of the little Taunton Pop Winter kids, and I think started on one of like Mark and Sean's teams and really, took to them. And then I don't remember what year her first full year was, but I do distinctly remember the year that she was on Josh and I's team. It was a Youth One Destiny. It was one of the very first like super teams that CheerFactor created, and Bianca was one of the athletes that was on it. And I think a lot of you guys, that if you think of Bianca, you don't think of a like sappy or wimpy kid. But I have this memory of her, and I swear it may have had an impact on her. But I remember we were at Spirit Fest, and Bianca was super sick. I think she had the flu. There was something, and and again, they were youth. They were a youth team. She probably was only 10 or 11, and I remember she had a little bob. And I remember we were going back to warm-ups, and the team mom said, Bianca doesn't feel good. She wants to know if her mom can come back to the warm up. And this is before Jen even worked at the gym. So I was like, no. So before we went back there, and Josh and I were super aggressive with this team because again, we were trying to like teach them to be super tough. And I remember grabbing her before we walked in the warm up, and I grabbed her little face and I was like, you are fine. You're going to spend the next 15 minutes with me. And if you need me, look at me, but you're not having your mom, and we're not doing this. Like, you're going to get through this. You're going to back these stunts. You're going to go out on that floor and you're going to be fine. And she did, and she was. And to this day, I think like Bianca's now one of those kids that's a teammate that would pull the my role, grab somebody's kid's face and be like, you're fine. You're going to go out there. You're going to do it. And you're going to be awesome. So I don't want to hear it. Get out there and be amazing. So I think it's funny that maybe subconsciously she always remembers me grabbing her and telling her she's got this. But yeah, Bianca, again, another athlete that was on 5 million teams. She spent a lot of time on senior 2 teams for a while. And one of her favorite memories that she wrote was when she got to fly in a basket toss, because I don't think she ever flew for us. I don't think so, Bianca, but you did fly in a basket toss and maybe even a prep at one point. And she said that was like the highlight of her life. But another big thing about Bianca was that she was the fill-in for like every team, no matter what. If we needed anybody, if it was a stunting position or a back spot, it was like, Bianca will do it, Bianca will do it. And I swear, I don't think she could even list the amount of teams that she competed on for us. I know I couldn't, because I could probably just list every team she was age eligible for the entire time she was here, and she probably was on there. So Bianca was one of those athletes that kind of just was always there and did what you needed her to do, even if it wasn't her team. If she was just happened to be in the gym because she was doing her homework and her mom was, working the front desk, and it would be like, Bianca, get out here, you're now in this routine. And she would do it. And she would do it with her full effort and her whole heart. So again, Bianca spent, I did get to coach Bianca a few times. Again, I don't coach often. I kind of come in every few years, and Bianca's been on, like I said, my Youth One team. And then she was on the X Factor team that I coached a few years back too. And again, just a great leader, a great athlete, super competitive, and Bianca knows that. And just a great all-around person that really just wanted the best for her team, wanted to be the best teammate that she could be. And again, I know Bianca will also be excellent at anything she does, because that's just the kind of person she is. So she's going off to school also. Knock on wood, I hope they all get to go off and have the greatest, freshman year experience. But Bianca's heading off, and I know we will see her, and I know she'll probably be back and working. So I'm not gonna get emotional or anything about Bianca, because I'm sure I will see plenty of her in the near future. But again, Bianca, just so you know, we love you. We've enjoyed you immensely in our program. You've definitely made an impact, and I will see you soon. Mwah.
Guys, I am going to talk about Allie Arabino, and I know that is how you say her last name, because I referred to her as Allie L for most of her CheerFactor career. And I think it was about 2 years ago, it was at the team reveal, and they had all their little cards laid out on the table, and there was, just a few cards left. And Allie came over to me and she said, Amanda, is this my card? And I said, well, of course it is. It has your name on it. It's right there. It says Allie L. And she said, my last name starts with an I. And I had absolutely no idea, because when you type things out and I see it on my phone, it looks like an L. But so now I know, Allie Arabino, and I've joked with her all year that now I know her last name. So Allie, you have been such a wonderful and kind person to have on teams for years since you've been here. I think we started on senior 2, and then you were on Extraordinary with me and Erika, and then Extraordinary with me and Mary this past season. I know you had a few more teams sprinkled in there that I didn't get to coach you for those years. But I am so happy that you came back for your senior year and joined us last season, because I loved having you around, as I always did. You are kind, and you always reach out to your fellow teammates. You always make sure that everybody is included, and you always have a big smile on your face. And kids like you are one of a kind. So that's what I will remember most about you, is just how positive, light, and happy that you are. So I thank you for bringing all of that energy to all of our practices, all of our competitions, and everything over the years. So I just want to wish you the best of luck, and know that you will be missed very much at CheerFactor. And I wish our season didn't end the way it did, but I'm so happy that you were here for the time that we did have. All right. Good luck, Al.
So I first heard about Skylar the very first year of CheerFactor, when I came here, and there was this team called Mystery, and I heard so much about them, and I heard so much about Skylar, that she was strong, flexible, beautiful jumps, beautiful tumbler. And I watched her and I thought she was great. And then the following year, I had the opportunity to coach her my second year, which was on our Junior 2 Destiny. And she was great. She was respectful, hardworking, kind, really gave me her everything. But I was the third coach on that team with Chris and Ashley. So, I worked with them, but I didn't have a lot of one-on-one interactions with the kids, just because, again, I was the third coach. I was there to help, choreograph, clean up, do whatever was needed to make sure that that team was successful. And that year they did make it to the summit and were absolutely amazing. It was 2.5 years ago that I really got to know Skylar. And I think the very first time I coached her, and I coached her the way I always coach her, it was like us butting heads. And I knew she was strong-willed. I knew she was talented. I knew she knew exactly what I wanted. But again, we just kind of butted heads. And then we had a little meeting of the minds. And I said, I think we got off on the wrong foot. And I know how valuable she is to CheerFactor. I know how valuable she is to my team. I knew she was a leader and what she could bring. And from that day forward, there was this amazing respect we had for each other, and I watched her grow into this amazing young woman who is smart, who is talented, who knows what she wants. She has spoken to us about, coaching someday. She's spoken to us about her love for cheer. And I got to watch her throughout the season and take on roles that I knew she was capable of. She adapted to whatever was asked of her. So then the following year, which happened to be last season, we were back for another year of our Senior 2, and she jumped right in and gave us everything we needed and more. I have enjoyed talking with her. I've enjoyed the funny times with her, and we are lucky that even though she's graduating, she is going to come back and do another year with us on our non-tumble worlds team, where she is irreplaceable. Her jumps alone make that team, and we have a ton of strong jumpers on that team. So to say that she's our best, that's a feat that I don't think many people can take. She's strong in stunting, and she works hard outside of the gym. We chat all the time about her pizza job and her commitment to that, to her family, her love for her younger brother. Those are all qualities that I think make an incredible role model, and I'm glad that my youngest daughter, Reagan, has kids like her in CheerFactor that she can look up to and say, you know what, this girl, this is something right, and I want to be like her. And we wish her the best of luck in the future. Thanks, Skylar.
Now I am going to talk about my friend, Tori Biaggetti. Tori came to us about 5 years ago, and when she first started at CheerFactor, she was on my junior level 3 team, Glamour. So, and ever since that season, I have had the pleasure of coaching her every single year since. So we did a few years of Glamour, and then a few years of Exquisite. And there was a year of Extraordinary thrown in there as well, somewhere in the middle. But I have always loved my time working with you, Tor. Tori's probably one of my favorite people to get mad at, and I mean that in the most loving way possible. Tori had such a way of knowing how to push my buttons and make me absolutely bonkers, but all while making me laugh and really making me enjoy coaching. And I know that sounds silly, but you know, she would just do something or not do something, and she'd see my face and I'd be, you know, all mad and stuff. And then she'd just have this little smirk and this big smile on her face. And it's like, you can't help but laugh because it's just, you know, she's just so fun to be around. So, Tor, I have loved watching you grow up and grow as an athlete as well. When she first started, she was this little itty bitty flyer with these, you know, long flyer legs and this big, beautiful smile. And you were great at that. And she got taller and taller and taller and became a super great base. And her tumbling's always been so consistent. I've never had to worry, you know, on the competition floor, anything like that. I've never had to worry about what Tori's going to do that day. Tori always did her job when it came down to it. And that's really all we can ask for in these athletes. So, Tor, I have loved our time together. I hope that we are still going to see you because fortunately we still have Haley with us this season. So please do not be a stranger. I wish you the very best of luck. I believe you are going to Providence, I believe, for college. But you will be great. You will do great things. And stay in touch. We're going to miss you so much. Bye, Tor.
All right, so the next senior I'm going to talk about is Erika Bochenote. And one of the things that I have a distinct memory about Erika, I think she's one of the last of the athletes that was on our original kind of like main team at Hanover when we first started the Hanover location. So for those of you guys that don't know the history, we had a team. I think it started as like a senior 2 or a junior 1. I forget what it started as. And Amanda and I decided again to coach the team. And it was I think the first or maybe second full year team that we had at that location. And the thing that Amanda and I kind of said is like, we have to make this team good. Like it has to be good. It's like a make or break for this location. I think at the time it was just them and like a mini team and a tiny team. So we went to the first comp. And Erika was on that team, and I remember like we did awful. Like the pyramid just didn't happen, and I think I was pregnant with Reagan. I don't fully remember, but I think I might have been pregnant with Reagan. And I remember Amanda and I being like, "Oh no, we've got to get it together." And we went like full on psycho mode on them from like January throughout like the rest of the year. And I was pregnant with Reagan, now that I think about it, because I went to DC with one of the teams. I think it was just CFAS at the time, and Amanda stayed home and took them to their first comp. And she ended up calling me going, "They won." And I was like, "What?" She's like, "Oh yeah, they won. They beat all the teams that kicked our butt at the last competition." I was like, "Awesome." And from that point forward, we kind of went on this awesome coast, and we ended up winning UCA Nationals that year. All the girls on that team, for Amanda and I, still hold this special spot because it was like, it's almost like the original girls that were in Foxborough. It was like the original girls that were in Hanover. And Erika's one of them. And so is her sister Julia. They're definitely prominent in my mind as how we were able to build and start that location. Erika then spent, I think after that year, she went to the Youth 2 when we really started to kind of like grind it out. Yeah, she was definitely on the Youth 2. I think it was Destiny that year. I don't exactly remember. And then kind of proceeded through there. She spent some years on Mirage. She spent some years, I think, on Extraordinary, on Extravagant, all sorts of teams for us. And Erika was always just one of those, again, awesome kids, sweet kids, did what they were told, worked hard, worked their butts off. And I know that she is going to be, I think she's going to art school. And I know, again, all these girls leaving CheerFactor are amazing, talented, confident young ladies, and Erika is one of them. So we wish her the best, and I think we're going to see some more of her as well. So I don't need to get too sad about it. But again, it's like the end of an era. I'm pretty sure she's one of the last ones from that group. So I do have a little bit of sadness in my heart for that. And Erika, just so you know, I won't forget you. I will always remember you. You'll always be part of that group in my heart. So again, we love you and we wish you the best and we hope to see you soon. Mwah!